No one can stop the Kansas City Chiefs when they do this. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video. And if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Kansas City Chiefs Rashee Rice only scratched the surface of his full potential that could be huge in the postseason. On Sunday afternoon, the Kansas City Chiefs bounced back from last Monday's 21-17 home loss to the Philadelphia Eagles with an impressive 31-17 road victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. After undergoing heavy scrutiny in recent weeks, the Kansas City offense put on a vintage performance, one that was headlined by a breakout game from rookie wide receiver Rashee Rice. Kansas City's second-round wideout led the team with 8 receptions for 107 yards, eclipsing the 100-yard mark for the first time as a pro. "I think we've only scratched the surface," quarterback Patrick Mahomes said of Rice's potential in the offense. "I think you see us hitting him kind of around the line of scrimmage, but you saw the one down the sideline. I think he can do some of the vertical threat stuff. He has speed and he has burst, and you can see all of that when he has the football in his hands. So let's start working him in and getting him more opportunities. It's hard when defenses play us like this, and we've put some deep crosses and stuff in where defenses are settling back and I go underneath, but I think he has a chance to be a great receiver in this league. We're going to continue to push him to be that receiver." Rice's day featured his 5th touchdown of the season, which tied him with tight end Travis Kelce for the team lead. It came on a 3rd and 6 at the Las Vegas 39-yard line early in the 4th quarter, when Mahomes found Rice on a shallow crossing route. With a little help from Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he showcased his ability to make plays after the catch by taking it to the house. "I'm running across the field and realize that they're in a man defense," Rice told reporters after the game. "My objective was to get to the other side of the field and kind of right in front of Pat's vision so that he could see me. He just put it exactly where I needed for me to run that 200-meter dash." Rice's ability to make big gains out of underneath passes is especially critical for a Chiefs offense that has been short on explosive plays in 2023. With the Raiders' defense taking away the deep ball and also focusing their attention on Kelce, Mahomes needed someone to be a secondary playmaker. "I've said it all year," Mahomes reiterated. "He has the talent, he works hard, and we just keep giving him more and more. These last few weeks, the flow of the game hasn't dictated him getting the football, but as you saw today, in some of those coverages where they were doubling Travis or putting a lot of attention on Trav, he was able to make some stuff happen, like on that shallow cross." While the Chiefs' wide receiving core has faced more scrutiny and criticism than any other position group this season, Rice remains one of the team's bright spots. While it may have taken more than half of the regular season to figure it out, it's starting to feel like Rice is finding his role. "That's the biggest thing," explained Mahomes. "It's a complex offense. It's hard for young guys to do it, so we kind of limit their roles, and as the season goes on, we expand them more and more. I think he's done a great job with it. There's little things here and there to continue to work on, but for the most part, he learns from his mistakes and gets better every single week." Head coach Andy Reid agrees with his quarterback. "He's a smart kid," Reid said of the former SMU wideout. "He works tremendously hard at his profession here, so he's got the trust of the quarterback." When it comes from a superstar quarterback like Mahomes, trust in a young wide receiver is a big deal, and on Sunday we saw it on full display. "I think they're showing a lot more confidence in me," said Rice, "but I feel like that started in practice. It doesn't just start with me making big plays in the game. It starts with me running that same shallow route in practice at full speed so that he can trust me on game day." The second story is Chiefs head coach Andy Reid suggests Nick Bolton's return is near. The Kansas City Chiefs are expected to get a star defender back at practice ahead of the team's Week 13 tilt with the Green Bay Packers. Nick Bolton has been on injured reserve as he recovers from a wrist injury since Week 8. Now that 4 weeks have officially elapsed, Bolton is eligible to be designated to return from injured reserve. Just because the Chiefs can open a player's practice window doesn't always mean they will. Every injury is different. In the case of Bolton, Chiefs HC Andy Reid anticipates that the team will open his practice window and get some work out of him during the upcoming practice week. "I think we'll be able to get some work from Nick Bolton," Reid said on Monday. "I mean, he's wanted to go here, even before. So, we'll just try to make sure he's right for that." The former second-round pick in the 2021 NFL Draft has started 4 games this season after starting all 17 games a season ago. Bolton dealt with a high ankle sprain early in the year that saw him miss Week 3, Week 4, and Week 5. He has 15 total tackles and an interception on the season so far. Drue Tranquill has been filling in nicely for Bolton at the Mike linebacker position. Bolton would presumably replace Tranquill in that spot upon his return. At the same time, expect Steve Spagnuolo to find specific sub-packages and ways to get Tranquill on the field as the green dot for the defense, even after Bolton makes his return to action. To Patrick Mahomes, the important offensive number for the Kansas City Chiefs in Sunday's game wasn't necessarily their point total of 31, which matched their second highest output of the season. Mahomes was more happy about the numbers 0, as in Chiefs turnovers, and 1, as in their dropped passes. The Chiefs have failed most of the year to match their offensive might from previous seasons, but Mahomes said he had the sense all along that if the Chiefs cleaned up their game as they did on Sunday, good things would automatically follow. We've shown that we can move the ball, but turnovers and drops and me not getting to the right guy at the right time have limited the Chiefs offensively, Mahomes said after a 31-17 win over the Las Vegas Raiders moved his team to 8-3. Little things like that, they've kind of stalled some of our drives. We kind of got back to the fundamentals this week, and we kept pressing and pushing. We obviously took a step in the positive direction now. Let's just continue to do that throughout the rest of the season. Mahomes won his 15th career game after the Chiefs have trailed by 10 or more points. His winning percentage of 58 in such games is the best in NFL history. But the Chiefs hadn't won after a double-digit deficit this season. They've tended to lose after falling behind by any significant margin, so the Chiefs seemed to already be in trouble when they went down 14-0 early in the second quarter. That was before Mahomes led the Chiefs on a 71-yard touchdown drive that may have been one of their most important of the season. The Chiefs up until that point had run 7 plays and gained 13 yards. It was big for us to get that first touchdown drive, and it kind of got the momentum back in our favor, what Mahomes said. We needed to get that drive, especially after having 7 plays in the first quarter. The Chiefs went on to score touchdowns on 3 of the next 4 possessions to take control of the game. 2 of those touchdowns came in the second half, the Chiefs' first points of any kind in the final 2 quarters in their last 4 games. Rookie Rashee Rice had 8 catches for 107 yards. He is the first Chiefs wide receiver to go over 100 yards in a regular season game since Week 7 of last year. That streak of 20 games was the longest active one in the NFL. Rice's biggest play was a 39-yard touchdown early in the fourth quarter that helped break open what at the time was a close game. Rice made the reception at the 35, and the rest of the play was him running after the catch and breaking an attempted tackle near the end zone. It was the breakthrough game the Chiefs had been waiting for from any of their wide receivers, and it came from the second-round draft pick. "I think we've only scratched the surface, honestly," Mahomes said of Rice. "I think you see us hitting him kind of around the line of scrimmage, but I think he can do some of the vertical threat stuff, and he has speed, and he has bursts. He has a chance to be a great receiver in this league, and we're going to continue to push him to be that receiver every single week." The third story is Kansas City Chiefs waive John Ross and wide receiver seeking return to NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs made a transaction at the wide receiver position on Monday, but it wasn't one that anyone could have anticipated. Instead of a player entering the fold, one is officially parting ways with the franchise. According to Mike Garafolo of NFL Network, as well as numerous other reports, Kansas City waived wideout John Ross from the reserve retired list. The Chiefs waived W.R. John Ross from the reserve retired list today. The 9th overall pick in the 2017 draft wants to make a return to the league and will look for an opportunity on a roster or practice squad. Despite being a vested veteran, Ross is subject to the waiver priority order in the aftermath of leaving Kansas City because it's past the trade deadline. Ross originally signed a reserve future deal with the Chiefs in January. Sticking with the team for most of the offseason program and into the beginning of training camp, it was revealed that he was placed on the reserve retired list on July 26th. Just over 4 months since his retirement, it appears that Ross is seeking a chance to latch back on with a team and continue his professional career. In 37 career regular season games of action, Ross has hauled in 62 passes on 143 targets for 957 yards and 11 touchdowns. His most successful seasons came back in 2018 and 2019, when he scored a combined 10 touchdowns and had 716 receiving yards as a member of the Cincinnati Bengals. In addition to his time with the Chiefs, Ross played in 10 games for the New York Giants back in 2021. He's known for his blazing 4.22-second 40-yard dash time at the NFL Scouting Combine back in 2017, and he'll now look to bring that speed to a franchise on either a practice squad or active roster basis. The Chiefs have found it hard to put points on the board in recent weeks as penalties, dropped passes, and turnovers conspired to make them losers of 2 of their last 3 games heading into Sunday's matchup with the Raiders.